break as the bell tolls. And hello, everybody. How you doing? Yeah, we see you, and we are live. So, and we are alive.
Yes,
And Trina, are you alive?
I am.
Okay, all
Sorry.
right. I just wanted to make sure,
Yeah.
Oh, well, there we go. And you see, we do experience time travel. Most people don't know that because you and I are actually 30 seconds ahead of everybody else.
I know. It's so weird.
It's weird. Don't tell me
Yeah.
time travel doesn't
And
exist.
it's so weird too, is that like when I'm looking at you, you're flipped.
Ah,
And when you're looking at me, I'm flipped.
yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
far out.
Yeah.
That just flips me out.
I know, right? Yeah.
It's
It's that magic
oh
space
man, it's like,
between.
geez. And
Yeah.
we really do live in this. Well, let me just say, favor to everyone, BOSTO baby. And what is David Bear? His is it Bisto, I think. Anyway, good to see everyone. Hey, David Castle. We ought to have David Castle on. I saw
Yeah.
him when he was on there on the Soul Tribe.
Yeah.
Favor to everyone, and nothing missing, nothing broken in your lives. Thank you for joining us for a second look. We're going to have a fun topic today because we're going to be talking about the next class of graduating gods and goddesses. And Trina, this is actually scriptural. If you want to look at it from an esoteric point of view of dogma, Jesus said, "Did I not say to you that you are gods?" And again, in Psalms 82, did God not say that you are gods?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Just so everybody knows.
Yep. That's a
So
fact.
the question is, who is going to be in the graduating class? And I've gotten some really good emails because people have been thinking about this. Well, if everything is in a cycle, right? Every cycle within itself has both its ups and its downs.
Yeah.
There naturally has to be what we would call a graduation up to the next level. We imitate that in our whole lives.
Yeah. And it's micro, macro.
Yeah, it
I
is.
believe that most of the customs that we hold and the things that we've been fed are based upon the beliefs of structures above.
Yes, all through my Christian experience, studying the Bible, reading Matthew Henry's commentary, and many other commentaries, the one I found most interesting was the whole idea that if you take the fall of man out of the equation, man could not fall unless he was a god already. It's like, okay. Now, if we were invaded, taken over, etc., I don't know. That could be. But getting back to this, go ahead, hon.
That's what I've always seen.
Yeah, it's replete in virtually in every belief.
Yeah, and I think one of the greatest atrocities of religion was taking the belief of reincarnation out of it. Because if people understood that you don't die when you die, everybody would be different.
It's interesting when we use the vernacular reincarnation because it's been hijacked and, religion has attacked it. But every religion teaches reincarnation in one form of another.
Yep.
The Jews, they don't believe necessarily in heaven. They believe they will possess the earth. Christians are giving the hope of resurrection, which is really nothing more than a manipulation. If you resuscitate, what are you doing? You're bringing back to life. What are you doing when you reincarnate? You're bringing back to life, right? I mean, maybe we're talking semantics here. I don't know.
It is. I think either you're caught in the loop or you graduate and you get out of it.
Yeah. I spent an hour of some most fantastic meditation this morning, and I was discussing this whole aspect. Okay, so this is for me, Trina. This is where I'm at in this journey. I've come to the conclusion that any god or goddess Elohim, Yahweh, whoever, Allah. We could go and look at the Hindu god. Who is she? Why is her name? Pardon?
Crowley.
Kali. These are gods of death. They murder, they kill, they consume that which they create. All within the guise that somehow this is because they're superior. But I was meditating today and really just speaking out there and hearing what other thoughts were out. That implies then the highest form of intelligence is violence.
I can only see that in the lower realms, but not the higher. It's kind of like a body and how it takes care of a disease or cancer. But well, if it can't, it can kill the body too.
But we're talking about God, Jesus. We're talking about Allah. We're talking Yahweh here. They all kill. They all command their followers to kill. And yet we are taught through the doctrine that is the highest of all intelligence.
That's, I think, where they're mistaken, but you know.
But that's what exactly is taught.
I know.
And my argument is, how can something be so perfect that we're killing murder?
It can't.
It can't.
No, it's a lower level thing. It's not.
Hey, Big Al.
Yeah, it's not the highest intelligence of source God creation. Because if you can have a name and identity to it right there, you just missed the mark.
There, yeah. If you can name it, it's no God.
You can't. There's no way. So yeah. So like I said, what we're being taught is false idol worship.
Yeah, and when you step over to the other side, you're going to manifest exactly what you have been expecting.
As a creator, yes, you will manifest.
And you're going to go, oh, crap.
Yes.
Martha, what the hell happened?
Like, oh, God, control the mind.
Oh, man. It's like, oh, crap. I knew that guy on the YouTube was right. Should have listened to him. But yeah. And that is where the trap starts. And so here I am meditating on this. And, you know, I've come to the conclusion when I talk to Source, I'm really meditating. Am I talking to thought? Now, I learned something about myself today in this little visit. No matter where I go, no matter what multiverse I end up in, I'm never going to be bored. I have the most delightful conversations with myself.
Right.
I really don't need anyone else, Trina, to be, and I don't think anyone else does.
You know, it's so funny because you don't, and that's only because you're whole, Wayne. You're connected to the omniverse. So you know. So like I said, once you make these conscious, you know,
you're connected to something, all right?
You can't pop that popcorn. It's like
man.
Yeah, you know that you're not just your body. You know that there are internal workings within your own self that are connected to everything. You get it.
Yeah. Someone asked me yesterday in an email and said, well, how are you going to approach your death? And I said, with a smile, and say, let's get it on.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
I've been waiting in line, all of us have, until, you know, it's the classic roller coaster car. It pulls up and the guy there that's measuring the traffic says, either you can get in by yourself or you can get in with some others. Most people say, I'll get in by myself. Thank you very much. And so they strap you in and you're off. I think that's really what the transition is.
It very well could be. And it's so funny. I've been looking at the difference between going out and going in.
That's an interesting process.
Yeah, I'm thinking I want to go in.
So in is into what? I mean, because,
into the heart essence gets smaller instead of bigger.
But that's where the omniverse actually exists.
Yeah, that's why I think I'm going in.
Yeah. I think we've got this misconstruing that size represents performance.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Yeah.
let's reverse that. What I'm okay, what I was trying to say was that we got the idea that, size represents strength. There I go again.
Right.
But it's really
Yeah. The smallest of things are the most.
Thank you.
The things that are so powerful about us we can't see because it's so small.
Right.
So fine, so subtle. You can't get it, you can't hold it, it's just you can't. So
and what is thought? Is thought the micro or the macro?
I think thought is both.
Yeah.
I think you, in your own consciousness, in your separate I am presence, your identity, which is the I am of you, that has its own individual consciousness through perception, but you're collected to your greater higher self, which is totally connected to the collective.
Well, we really are all the atom. Each and every one of us, that's what we are. We are an atom. I heard that 30 years ago from Carl Sagan. I mean, that's what he believed, that we were truly, if we're part of the universe, then in essence, that's what we are. We're an atom. And an atom in its full expression would produce this. It could produce a lot of other things. It can produce an atomic bomb explosion.
Yeah, it can produce anything.
Yeah.
Yep. Just depends on the code.
And the fractal of thought. See, I've been thinking.
Nothing forms unless we observe it.
Yeah, and you could say that consciousness is, in fact, the fracture of a thought.
It is, and I think consciousness is actually created by our mind's eye. So what we think we see or do see, we literally project and create it in front of us.
And then it comes to this whole illusion as to what we are. I mean, Thursday, I'm going to be talking about Xenon 125. You're going to want to watch, because do you know what Xenon 125 is? Yeah, it's an isotope. And do you know how Xenon 125 comes about as an isotope? Only comes about one way, through nuclear explosion. Now, the interesting thing is what NASA, the United States, Russia, they've known this. We now know what they have been hiding is the fact that in the Russian atmosphere, it is, in fact, they know of at least 2 detonating points of where Xenon 125 is. Now, you ready for this? The isotope being measured on the rate of decay 300 million years ago. There was a nuclear war that took place on Mars. We have the evidence. We know it now. NASA knows it. They all know it. And the reason why
I felt that, Wayne, and I couldn't prove it, but I was like, I know this happened.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Yeah.
Knew it.
That has a huge implication on us.
I think that's where we come from. The original human forms, I think that was like our recent, what we have came from Mars.
Yeah. It also goes into line of the planet Tiamat and the planet Marduk.
Yeah.
The asteroid belt.
Yeah.
The one that the Sumerians wrote about, the one that's in the Mesopotamian, the Akkadians, the Chaldeans, even the Egyptians.
And is Marduk associated to Moloch? Okay, yeah, because I heard that Moloch is the one that created our molecule.
Very interesting.
Moloch, that's why he's called Moloch. He is he's the creator of the molecules, of the molecular structure of the human genome. And that was probably from Moloch, and then it went to Mars.
Well, whatever we know this, and this is what makes it very interesting, because, the Hindu history shows the same type of nuclear war taking place here on planet Earth. So now we have the physical evidence. You can't remove the isotope. If it's there, then it got there because of exploding atoms, nuclear weapons. 300 million years ago, Trent, means that we may be far more older. And I have contended, I did the one video that really sapiens are refugees, that the moon actually is a hollow vessel that brought us here.
Yeah. I don't know how we got here, but all I know is I think we were seeded, and we were seeded from different planets.
I think so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
I think we're very, 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 very old.
Aaron says Moloch is the child eater. Actually, you're right, Aaron. And here's the thing. I know it's controversial, but in the United States where abortion is legal, it's still a sacrifice to Moloch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing how sapiens do that. But literally, the people have no understanding of what's happening in those temples. We call them clinics, but they're actually temples. But anyway, moving right on along.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But so, yeah, it says I literally heard that, and I was like Moloch and the molecule, and that's when I was hearing about sin. Because sin was the representation to our flesh expression through a sine wave.
Sine wave, yeah. What's your sign?
Yeah.
It's interesting when you think about the Egyptians. Someone sent me a video to the Zohar YouTube channel, and they have a really good one talking about monatomic gold and how they found these in the temples of the pharaohs. And are you being attacked?
He's ready to fly, and I'm like, okay, you're bugging me. You're bugging me, fly.
You're bugging me, man.
Yeah.
But the fact that many of these tombs were built into crystal structures, and the sine wave that at a certain, I think it's 110 megahertz, that it literally opens a portal. And the pharaohs knew this. The ancient Egyptians, they understood this process. Now, I first heard of monatomic gold through a different name called manna.
Oh, really? They call that manna?
Yes, manna is the thing that came down from heaven that fed the Israelites. And the interesting thing about manna was that it was called the food of the angels.
Yes.
Now, here's what a lot of people don't know about the stories in the desert. Those people never grew old as long as they ate that monatomic gold.
Yep.
In the Kabbalic tradition of many rabbis, they will tell you it is the elixir of life, the philosopher's stone. It is the substance for eternal youth.
Ambrosia, too.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. I do think that there are certain specific things that you can put into your body that will extend your life.
Yeah.
Definitely believe that. I've seen people change their bodies with their mind. And I know people that have worked on like doing hypnotherapy to start extending the telomeres. So
there is a treatment, it's a holistic treatment of those who have, for instance, terminally cancers, particularly or ailments of that type, that where you can literally laugh yourself back to health.
I saw a lady cure herself of cancer that way.
I saw a man
blew
in
my
his
mind.
70s.
She literally watched funny movies for like 8 hours a day. Yeah. And she said she was going to laugh her cancer away, and she did.
The guy that I know, he said two things are going to happen. Either I'm going to beat this or I'm going to die laughing.
Right.
That's what he said.
Great attitude.
And that's exactly it. In fact, there has been a recent study done that people who live longer, there is a commonality that they have found, and that is they laugh.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen a lot of studies to that effect.
Did you get that, sucker?
I did, I think.
Woo.
I think I did, Wayne. I'm scared to open my hand.
Well, Anna Oakley.
Oh my God. No, I didn't. I thought I
Yeah.
did. I felt it. I was close.
His eyes suddenly got
I
bam,
was
like,
like, I
damn,
was close. I'm gonna get it. Oh my
that
God.
woman's going to out to kill me. Yeah, she
I'm gonna
is.
get it if it don't go away. I'm like, last warning, dude. Last warning. Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta love nature, you know?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
what? It's like, you know, there's a fly. See, there's a fly. See this energy? I told you there's an energy right now.
Yeah. It's interesting. I saw you
making my battle come out, Wayne.
Hey, she told me, she says, I'm fired up. I'm fired
well,
up.
I got Mars is hitting Aries really
Yeah.
hard right now, and it's conjuncting retrograde. And yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah, I mean, you know, coming and going. And so Trina, while I was meditating, I suddenly was in a place where there were buildings built into the side of mountains, and the mountains went up. And I looked down and I saw Earth. And the interesting thing about the energy of Earth is this, is that Earth is considered to be a consumption planet. There are other planets where there are healings, there are different aspects, but Earth is consumption. Everything in here consumes the energy of something else.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's so true. You know, when I had that visit from the Lord in Saint Germain, I asked them if they were vampires. And that was why I asked them, because I understand this is a consumption realm. And they were like, yeah, because they understood I meant you need energy, right? I was like, you don't need blood. They're like, no. And I was like, okay. But they're like, no, it's an energy. There's no other way here in this dimension, in this realm. Nothing. Yeah. Nothing else exists. It's all feeding off. Everything is feeding off itself, off of each other. It's the Ouroboros. It's a snake eating its tail.
Well, as my spirit guide, and I have several, as we were looking down on the earth, I actually saw these gods. And these gods they were at one time just like us.
Yes.
These gods are different in that the fact that their whole existence is, there's nothing new except for the energy that comes in from the outside that gets into the loop. They do not generate within themselves any living energy.
Wow.
And this world, everything from the micro to the macro, consumes the energy of something else.
That's what I was seeing. Yep.
Now, they left me standing. They've done that many times. And so I'm standing there and I'm contemplating this. And while I was seeing the globe, the earth, and it has strange lights within it, because there's this consumption and reconsumption and recreation of an energy, again, that is not of the original source. That source of energy is one that pushes you into new energy.
Okay.
So what I was seeing here is that it's the loop. And I asked in my mind, and then I had this answer. I said, so consumption is, and I heard this, materialism.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
That's why the whole Jesus be in the world, but not of it. This is exactly what he was talking about, was materialism.
Then I am in my mind, I'm in the Vatican, in the Great Hall. And I'm seeing all this inert decoration, the gold, and the whole materialistic aspect of holiness.
Yeah, off the charts.
Exactly.
It's the most magnificent. You'll never see anything so magnificent. Yeah.
It's a trap, because that gold, those trappings, you think you're in a place of holiness.
Right. So if your aim is for that when you die, you're going right back into a bigger trap. Yep.
Yeah.
It's consumption again.
Consumption.
Needing the worship and needing the tithing and the money and the whole thing. The whole thing. It's the whole thing.
It is. And then you look at these things like the sacrifice of babies, fetuses. that is energy that it's unique. It's very, very unique, particularly a new soul coming in.
It's so weird. Every time I think of the eating babies, it always takes me all the way back to Kronos and Saturn and the pictures of Saturn eating his children. And that's time. And that's time. Think about it. It's time.
It is time, isn't it?
Time is what kills us.
Yeah.
We age.
It is.
We age. All the death is associated to time.
Yep. They're like twins.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. You can't have death without time, because if time didn't exist, then death would not have any purpose.
Yes.
Wow, this is some deep stuff, folks. I hope you're taking notes.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I kept figuring out. That's how I figured out this was a whole consumption realm, was because I started looking at what are the planets and what are they telling us and what are their functions. And when I started looking at time and Saturn and eating his babies, and I was like, hold the phone. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Well, I mean, our instruments can look in, for instance, on Jupiter. Now, when you see the planet Jupiter, it's on a different level than Earth.
Yeah, it's a different entity.
It is. It's in a whole different realm.
Yeah, I think Jupiter would be more the Christ energy, the Jesus energy.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Venus
what are you going to take with you? I got some lightning. Well, yeah, I mean, we all do. Yeah, it's interesting when you think about this.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
So I wonder, as we graduate, as gods and goddesses, I really do believe that the male and the feminine go hand in hand. You can't have new creations unless you have what I would call the essences in order to create from.
Yes. You know, I think there's like 4 different exits you could choose if you were going to go out, and it might be the same as if you go in. You know, the different gates hold different aspects. So it's like, what gate are you going to go through? And yeah, I think we have choices when you have an awareness that there are choices. And you're going to graduate, you're going to go to where your consciousness is. So I mean, the people that have a belief system and it's very strong, they're going to go to their belief system 100%.
In one of my meditation sessions, I had an entity who questioned me from a different perspective about killing. And in essence, what I got out of this is, so when we see these attributes that we call and I love what the Colburn said about evil spirits. All evil spirits are people.
Yeah.
They're not demons. They're not angels. They're people. That's why they know us so well, because they are us. They just decided to make a different path.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
So what the voice was asking me, there was this. So, Wayne, you really have a burr up your ass where Jehovah, these other gods that have commanded humans to kill other humans, and this is why I respect Lucifer more than Yahweh. Lucifer has never ordered or ever killed one human. But anyway, I digress. The voice asked me, so would that be because of emotion, ego? I don't like when so-called superior beings kill my species. I don't like that. Yeah, there's emotion there, and yes, there's ego there. The voice said to me, so what if you were of such of intelligence where ego no longer played a role in your existence? And then you take the emotion factor out, and now you're dealing with just simple equations. So then, would killing be then a problem?
I think it would depend on what it does to the whole.
See, that's an interesting response. I like that.
So it would be in a direct response to, how did it affect everything around it? How did it affect its environment? How did it affect the whole? Because the more I'm understanding that as above, so below, as within, so without, when you understand that you're, Wayne, we're omniverse. We are omniversal beings. And that is so huge to try to get in my brain. And
yeah, because omni meaning everywhere, all the time, anytime. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Omni.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's why the divine spark that we have can create worlds. It's potent.
Have you ever heard the theory, the dark force theory?
No.
So the dark force theory is, it was based on a Japanese science fiction writer, and he postulated the theory, and there have been Russian physicist Carl Sagan was definitely in this court, that true higher intelligent beings would never want to be found out in the universe. Because the theory goes that the dark forest is this: they know what is out there, and it ain't God, and it ain't pretty. And that Carl Sagan, when he was putting the disc for Voyager 2, Voyager 1, Stephen Hawking was later to said that that was the biggest mistake that mankind ever did, was sending those two crafts out. Wow. Although our radio waves are already going out. And here was the reason why. Stephen Hawking believed this, that higher intelligence doesn't mean mercy.
I could see that.
So the dark force theory is that if you're truly an advanced civilization, you're going to do everything you can to remain hidden.
That might make sense.
So let's extrapolate for that. So if we're gods in training, that would be very important for us to remain hidden, because we're in training. We're not meant to be out there in the freaking front lines yet. We're in training here. And this is quite the training ground, as you said. This is the accelerated class.
Yeah, this is everything goes land.
Yeah.
Everything goes land. And that's tough, because you are affected by everything goes, because we're connected. So you're signing up to be literally energetically connected to every time a child dies. We're connected. So like I said, this energy is really intense.
It is. Yeah. And then I'm thinking about, as we look as Earth, I mean, I just finished reading, what the escape of the slaves from the Egyptians' point of view was. And again, to think that Earth could experience that again. And I said yesterday, and I'll say it again, if this was to happen, a similar event, oh my goodness, Trina, I think the vast majority of sapiens, humankind, would go nuts.
Yeah.
I really do.
I do too.
So here's where
you wouldn't go nuts. I wouldn't go nuts.
I wouldn't go nuts.
Get out the popcorn.
Well, you know what I would do? I've been holding off on this, and I'm going to be sending an email out. There is now 92 on the list. Our first experiment was the last time it rained here in Denver.
I know.
And since then, it's been one hot. This is like Africa hot here. I mean, it's already everywhere. 98 degrees here.
Yeah, we've been extreme heat warnings for, I don't know.
What are you at?
Yeah.
What is your temperature on a daily now?
Today, I think we're 106 or 108, I think. Maybe higher. I don't know. Let me see.
That ain't normal.
It was 108 already this morning, I think.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't. I mean, Death Valley hit 130 yesterday.
Yeah, it's 104 right now, I think.
See, that's nuts. So I'd like to do one more.
It's going to be 111 today, Wayne.
See? Although I like the 111, I don't like it on my body, man.
It's like like the hottest part of the day. It says
It's like,
111. I'm
no,
like,
man, that ain't
107.
normal.
It is normal for here, but
Yeah.
like I said, we normally get monsoons. It normally cools down a little bit at night. It's been really hot.
So I think we ought to do as the next experiment is to focus in on this high pressure system that's sitting in the southwest part of the United States and focus energy on dissipating it. Because you know what happens when you get rid of high pressure?
Mm-hmm.
You get low pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Low pressure sucks in the moisture and it will bring us moisture. That's what I'm saying. Might be an interesting experiment.
Might be.
I don't know.
All I know is that if we want it to rain somewhere, all we have to do is just focus on it to rain.
Yeah.
Just like we did. It's that simple.
It poured, folks. That
That's
was the
simple.
last.
When you were like, we're going to do this, I'm like, oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah, it worked. It worked. Yeah. It worked.
I had no doubt in my mind. None.
So, Trina, did you know that there is in existence a what we call a Universal Declaration of Human Rights?
Oh boy.
So this is apparently from the United Nations in 1948, right?
Okay.
Get this, 1948. And it declares the following: all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. They are endowed with reason and consciousness and should act towards one another in a spirit of brotherhood. BOSTO, baby.
Yes.
2, everyone is entitled to all the rights and freedoms set forth in this declaration without distinction of any kind, such as race, color, sex, language, religion, political or other opinion, national or social origin, property, birth, or other status. Furthermore, no distinction shall be made on the basis of a political, judicial, jurisdictional, or international status of the country or territory to which a person belongs, whether it be independent, trust, non-self-governing, or under any other limitation of sovereignty. 3, everyone has the right to life, liberty, and the security of a person. 4, no one shall be held in slavery or servitude. Slavery and the slave trade shall be prohibited in all their forms. Finally, no one shall be subjected to torture or be cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment or punishment.
Wow. They broke every single one of their own rules.
Every one of them.
Every single one of their own rules they have violated. Wow.
Every one of them.
Wow.
You see, this is why I know something ain't right here.
Absolutely.
I just thought I would share that to get your thoughts on that.
That just makes me so sad because it's exactly what we've seen happen to the Constitution here. And now we're looking at that used to be in place there. And what a beautiful thing. And that's not being observed.
No,
not at all.
I mean, taxes is a form of slavery.
Yeah.
I mean, any way you look at it, taxes are a form of slavery because you're indebted to the state. I thought this was so interesting because I looked at it in a spiritual sense.
Mm-hmm.
And so hear me out on this, Trina. This is what I was thinking, that I don't worship a God because I don't think any God would want worshipers. I mean, the question is, why would a God want, they would be narcissistic.
Mm-hmm.
If you're getting off on, something bowing down at you, whoa, wait a minute. I thought we were equals here.
Mm-hmm.
You see that?
Yeah, see, like that's where my focus is now. When I pray, it's like, Supreme Creator of all that is, show me the right use of will.
Very powerful, Trina. Very powerful.
Show me the right use of will, and I will to do what is good. Show me the right use of will. You gave me free will. That's my power. Show me right use of will.
this goes into that PowerPoint I did. I see us all being trained into what eventually our own kingdoms are going to look like.
Uh-huh.
And I think that sometimes we fail, and that's why it's the small K, not the big K, because I don't know what the big kingdom looks like. I got a sense that we're either in it or part of it or whatever. But I don't think a lot of people ever see the ascension as taking on more responsibility.
No, and I think that's going to be a wonderful part of it. Because when you graduate, you get to go to a new level and learn more beautiful things. And if you get through, it's just kind of like when you go to college, there's always that rough patch where, oh man, this semester is going to about kill me because it's when the hardest hits.
Did your children test you, Trina?
What?
Did your children test you?
Oh God, yes, they still do.
That's my point.
Oh, God, yes.
The expression on your face, girl, is like, well, what do you think?
God, yes. Of course. Oh God.
Not only yes. Here's the other aspect, and I thought of you as I was, doing this, that so many of us have drill sergeants as spirit guides.
Oh gosh, totally.
I asked mine today, Trina. I said, when I was getting the crap beat out of me, broken bones from my dad, I said, where the hell were you? I said, I didn't see you take those blows. I said, I didn't see you at night bleeding. I said, so where were you? I don't think they ever left. I mean, it's really, that is, and I don't think that.
You know what I literally just heard when you said that, Wayne? They went inside. I literally just heard that.
There's a lot of truth to that. There's a story behind that.
Literally what I heard. They went inside.
I like that.
I heard that loud.
So I'm beginning to see that we're really out here, all of us in this soul tribe. I mean, we each teach each other. We each put each other through test. Many times it's nothing more than conceptual ideas that are the test.
Yeah.
I've had many people who say, I don't agree with that. Oh, that's cool.
Right. Okay.
It's okay. I mean, it's all right. See, I see you as my classmate. I really do.
Oh, me too. I love learning with you.
Well, and I love learning from others. I mean, this group has a wealth of knowledge and they pass it on.
Yes.
And I think that as well, that I know this, one of the reasons why I don't practice Solomon magic is that for me, it's a violation for me to take control of another spirit.
You are absolutely right. I agree 100%.
I can't do it, Trina. I mean, I know the spells. I know exactly what to do.
Yep.
I can't do it.
Nope, me neither. I get it. Totally. I agree.
See, this is why we have such a good show. I mean, because if I invoke another spirit, all I'm doing is putting myself to be invoked by another spirit.
Yeah, and also too, it's like there's consequences when you steal that which is not yours.
Yes. Yes. Now, where wealth is concerned, wealth is of a substance of the universe. That's how I see wealth. And it's a matter of materializing the proper points to get that to come in your life.
Yes.
But I really think that this is where we really have to. It's emotions. I think about the emotions. I love how you started today. I'm fiery. I'm fired up.
Yes.
Body, the physical senses, the triune thoughts. I want to focus in on that a second because that's what I was trying to get to, the fact all of us are triune beings. We speak, we have, Alan Watts said, the day you stop talking to yourself is the day you stop existing.
Yep. I believe that.
And he says, as an experiment, try not to talk to yourself.
Right.
The thoughts are going, is he really going to try to do this?
Right, exactly. How long is he going to try to keep this up? Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
yeah.
It's an interesting thought. And because, this was the one I wanted everybody to see. You just brought it up, and I don't know why I went out so soon. Trina, I was trying to get a cup of water and steered the bus off too soon. You know, boop. Here's the thing. You said it almost 45 minutes ago, thereabouts.
Wow.
The most important thing for us to understand is to mastering free will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, I know there's a lot of debate where free will concerns, and I want to express this. So let's get out, because I want to look at you. Let me see your face.
Yeah, they can see you too.
Just see your face. All right, free will.
Mm-hmm.
There's things going on in my life right now where I am grateful, so grateful that I can get to that quiet place and I can see the future. Mm-hmm. And I have been taught this by my guides, is that I see the future. I see multiple possibilities. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm going to share something with everyone. You see a number of possibilities in, let's say you're in something very intense. And you're trying to project out, well, what's the future hold? How is this going to turn out for me? Mm-hmm. Now, most people, because they're programmed by the world, would see the negative, the fearful, and they're immediately drawn to that. And that suddenly then, are you ready for this? That activates fate and destiny. Yeah. I have learned that I can see the future, and once I decide that future in my reality, my realm, my world, my creation, mm-hmm. fate and destiny then takes hold of it, and guess what? The future is here. Yeah. Yeah. I just thought I'd share that with you.
You're manifesting. You're a wizard, Wayne. Yeah. You're manifesting well. Mm-hmm.
I guess, you know, what really got me is this is when I wish we were together. You see, we're going to be drinking our tea and the group's going to be talking all about this. I was always perplexed in my thought life in the aspect of trying to determine the proper position for fate and destiny. Mm-hmm. Because if fate is the ultimate outcome, then my destiny is going to usher me into that outcome. That's where fate and destiny. It never occurred to me that as a God, mm-hmm. I can pick a future, and that is what I am going to focus in on. It never occurred to me then fate and destiny then rides to that.
Yes, that is exactly, it's brilliant. It's brilliant, Wayne. Brilliant. That's literally how it's done. And that's brilliant because you can see it. Man, if you can see it, you can be it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's powerful. Powerful.
There is going to an event that's going to happen in my life. And when it does, I'm putting it on the record right now. I'm not going to say what it is, but when it does, I'm going to remind everyone to come back and look at this episode of A Second Look, because I discovered something. I know it sounds maybe mundane to some people, but for me, it's a major epiphany in my development. I can reconcile this whole thing that when a person is born, there is fate and destiny riding with them.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think so many people, Trina, allow their destinies to be fated by the energy around them, and they have no idea where they're going.
We're programmed. We were programmed to run their destiny. Most of us don't even really remember what our destiny was because we've been told what it is.
Yes. Yes.
So, yeah, it's a conundrum.
Trina, I wish I had known this
Yeah, right.
I know there's a song. I
A little
wish I
helpful.
knew what I knew back. I get that, but this is one of those things for my life.
Mhm.
Or Wayne Steiger.
Mhm.
Been on this rock for 23,000, 330 odd something days. But the fact is, I finally, to me, it breaks the fear cycle, folks. For many of you out there, I'm hearing this.
Yeah.
The reason why you continue to relive the same outcome of fate and destiny is that you've allowed by default.
Yep.
There you go. Go ahead, Trina. You can finish
You
the thought
think
out.
it. Yeah, you see it, you think it. That's why so much of our current reality mimics the past, is because we're creatures of habit. We are super connected to our patterns. So if you see a pattern in your life that you do not like, you really have to sit down every day and focus on it the way you would like to see things. You have to focus on the opposite of it until you can actually feel that feeling like you're actually experiencing it for real. Because until you convince your heart, you're not changing your sine wave.
Yeah.
So you have to see it until you believe it. That's why I say fake it until you make it, because eventually that belief system, to change that, might be hard in the beginning, and it might be hard to do it. But if you keep on keeping on, eventually you'll break that pattern and you'll start to anchor in the new one. But you keep focusing and seeing what you want to see, focusing on. You have to create actively, because if you don't create actively, this matrix will create for you, and the agenda it has for you is not very good. So
It's so true, Trina, because I know visualization. I know I've known that for all my professional life.
Mhm.
It was, and it's amazing how sometimes, I don't know, maybe we're so dense. But again, I struggled for years on the two aspects of fate and destiny, and now I get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it can save you or slay you.
Yeah.
And it literally, it's about your consciousness. And see, because you have this awareness, Wayne, of the multiple potentials, and you have all this new consciousness, that's graduation.
Yeah.
You're not going to be stuck in a third dimensional expression thinking that that's what it is all about. You're going to know that there's way more to this. You're going to know all of these things, and that's going to empower you as a soul and a spirit to where you're going to have options and choices.
I do believe that, Miss Trina. I
Yeah,
do
that
believe
is
that.
graduation. I
Oh, by
think
the way,
that
everyone, the one with
I think that's
videos.
graduation. I
Yeah.
really do.
I'm more convinced of this. In one of my journeys, I faced Satan.
Uh-huh.
Now, Satan is with a small s.
Uh-huh.
Satan means basically accuser. It
Mm-hmm.
is adversary. Anyway, in one of these journeys, I faced a group of them. They were very strange looking creatures. And they started pointing out aspects of my life that said, well, see here. And then I remember looking at all of them and I said, well, that's just bullshit. I
Mm-hmm.
said, first of all, where's your qualifications? And let me see how your life did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's see how you did going through the mud. Let's see.
And this is what I said.
Blind
I
and drunk
said,
and dumb and can't hear and can't see. Yeah, let's see how good you did too.
let's see how good you did. I said, I am perfectly imperfect for the mission that I have chosen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you
Yeah.
freezing up? There you
Okay.
are. You're
I don't
live
know.
again.
I don't know.
By the way, you're
Yeah,
looking
Wayne,
fabulous. I just wanted to tell you, people say as well, you just look fabulous,
you.
Trina. Yeah.
Thank you.
The Miss Trina.
Wayne, you're so spot on. This is so big what we're doing right now. It's literally, we're breaking the spell of the veil of the amnesia that we've been under.
Yeah. Oh, you made that rhyme just in time.
Yeah, it's true. It's like we are making magic right now. This
I
is
think
magic.
we are.
You can break the veil. That's
Yeah.
that's huge.
When I was studying Aleister Crowley, one of the things that oddly enough, Churchill really believed, and it was unfortunate because in the end it cost Churchill his political position, but he believed what Aleister told him, that the magic that Aleister Crowley wanted to bring out to the living world would change the world. But the world was never ready for that.
I believe that.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of his teachings are really beautiful.
They are. They're complex.
A lot of them are really screwed up, but a lot of them are really beautiful. Like I said,
yeah.
Yeah,
it's kind
and
of
like
like John D.
about do thy will. It's like, yeah, dude, but you should check it out from the Supreme Creator and get a little instruction, because they always got a better plan than you. Always.
I mean, isn't that the way it's always going to be?
I think cooperation, like I said, that's our biggest gift. It's our biggest key to creation. Literally, when you get that and you understand you're connected to everybody, you have a consciousness of how you affect the world. These are all the things needed to graduate. You've defeated the ego.
It's that voice I just heard. You remember when I said I would not invoke another spirit? I mean, what I just heard is that we would rather work in cooperation than invocation.
Yes. It's like, man, I need some help. Who's willing?
Yeah.
No, and that's the thousands will show up and be like, oh, thanks, guys. Yay.
This is interesting because each of us can provide a certain energy to spirits.
Yes. So I'm telling you, our diversity is our superpower.
Wow.
It's our superpower. Oh my God. Yes. Oh, it's so
and I'm hearing things. Someone said, Aleister Crowley, the Satanist, what am I missing? Well, I think you're missing, Skyheart, is the fact that Aleister Crowley brought knowledge. He brought the occult knowledge, the hidden knowledge.
Yeah.
And he was human. All humans make mistakes.
Yes.
And, you have to sift the good for the bad.
Yeah. Like I said, what he chose to do with his magic wasn't very pretty, but to teach, to get people to understand what the third eye is, and to get people to understand breathing technique. I mean, he taught a lot of stuff that's, spiritually based practices, but he took them to a dark extreme. But, he still taught a lot of good esoteric wisdom and knowledge in the foundations of his teachings.
He did. And from him, today, much of what we see in the area of what we call positive magic was derived from much of his research.
Yeah, from Crowley. Yeah, that's true.
I don't need to invoke a spirit again to do my bidding.
Yeah, I never have. I've always known not to. I've always somehow had a remembrance about the cooperation thing.
Yeah.
My whole life. So I've never done any of that stuff because I know I didn't need to. All I need to do is say, hey, I need help. Anybody want to help? And then they show up and I'm like, okay, thank you. I've always had that ability to bring people in, and I don't know why or how I always had that ability. One time I was working with a shamanic healer and she was working with me and I was like, I want to take out the trash, clean my temple. I want to get rid of anything that's no longer needed or necessary. And literally I created this staircase in my mind and I called in help, and she said she'd never seen so many angels in her life. And she said she literally started crying and like freaked out a little bit because she's like, I've never seen anything like this in my life. I said, I just ask anybody who wants to help, come.
Yes.
That's all I do, and she's like, I was like, they want to help us. They love us.
When I moved into this house, I put the angels in charge. I mean, there are those that that's what they're created for. Yeah,
they want to help.
They want to help
really bad. So you don't need to invoke nothing. You just say, hey, who wants to help? And they all come.
Yeah. I've had challenges where I've needed creative ideas, and I said, all right, I'm open to anyone who has an idea on this. And then the next thing, I'll have a dozen or more ideas come in and go.
It's this is where the ego kind of can get involved too, and you got to kick it out again because you get these divine ideas and stuff, and you get help, this supernatural help, and then you're all thinking, oh man, I must be so special. Then they're just gonna kick you to the curb right there.
It's like man,
you gotta understand. It's like, no, this ain't about you. It's about we. And when you use that we and that thee and the tree of life, oh man, you can get some stuff done. That's why I said when you wanted it to rain, Wayne, I knew it was going to rain.
We're going to do it again. I'm just telling you.
I knew it was gonna rain.
Yeah. And I see Kaz. Hi, Kaz. You know,
Yes, I'll see you after, Kaz.
Okay. The whole idea of dragons. They're not just mystical beings. I look at it, they're advocates, you know, they're intercessors. They're
our ancestors. I think they're the reason we got our reptilian mind construct is from the dragons.
Well, I just know I've never met a nasty dragon. Only on Smaug, excuse me, on the Hobbit. Although I thought they did an excellent job with that dragon. You know, did you see that one with the Hobbit?
I didn't, but I know I didn't. I love the dragon in Shrek, though. My favorite.
go and watch the movie The Hobbit: The Desolation of Smaug, and Smaug. I got it. And wait till you see that dragon.
Wayne, I really haven't watched TV since like 2004.
Okay, well, this one might be worth it.
I know, and you know, some of the stuff that I have watched over the years, like I did watch Lord of the Rings, and I watched Avatar, and I've watched a few things, and they're fabulous. But yeah, I just don't do a lot of it. So yeah, it's great to hear things. You should watch this because yeah, if I'm like wanting to watch TV, I got a list of stuff. I'm like, oh, they said watch this, and it's fabulous every time.
I come from the film and video industry, and so the company I worked for, we did the opening scene of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So every time I see Star Trek Next Generation in the opening scenes of, the Enterprise.
Cool, Wayne.
Yeah. And how
really cool.
It was, the model was about 22 feet long.
Oh,
and the windows that you see on the Enterprise are actually pieces of rice that have been painted with white laminated paint.
Oh my God.
So we set it on what they call, it's a motion rail that puts it, and then the camera is following it. And what they do for the scene that stretches out, that's actually going into slow motion that causes that effect. So that's how that was done.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
now every time I see
that, just one of them. The company we did the Geraldo show when that was back in the day, and
I remember that show.
Yeah. So
Geraldo Rivera. I remember.
Yeah. Well, so back in the day, but my point is that I'm so integrated in the film and video industry. It's because that place is magical.
It is. You know why? Because you're working with a projector.
Oh, isn't that cool? That's a very good point. Yeah.
Projector of this reality. And that's why you're so much of this stuff connects, because you have that video experience. Yeah. We project our reality, and film is a projection of our that's like a reality within a reality.
I swear, when I take my camera out, the sunsets change, and
yes.
Did you see that one with the Eye of Ra? I mean, was that
unbelievable,
weird?
Wayne? Wow.
Weird, man. I mean,
it was beautiful. I was like, wow.
For some reason, that song, and Wendy has stormy eyes, that flashes at satellites anyway. Wow, we've gone over.
You know what I kept hearing? I am the eye in the sky.
The sky, yes. Alan Parsons Project, yes. Yeah.
To mine. Yeah, that's what I was hearing.
and the UFOs are the orbs. I don't think they're UFOs. I think they're actual orbs.
I do too.
I think they're spirit beings up there.
I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely do too. Yeah, those were awesome pictures.
All right, folks. Well, Trina, we went over again, but this is fun. I always have fun on our shows.
Love you guys.
Yeah. Tell people what you got going this week, and now
I'm just trying to get more. I've been getting videos out. I've been trying real hard, y'all. So
saw them.
Just working on that. And I have Milky Way Soul Tribe Saturday night, and then always on Tuesday with you, Wayne, and just catch videos when I can get them out in between. But I'm working on it.
Well, I love your work, and it's always just an honor to have you here as part of the duo.
Too, Wayne. So much fun. It's a joy in my life. Thank you.
there is such truths that are revealed in it. You just have to write them down. I saw Robert V trying to do that. And Robert, it's very difficult when you're driving the bus to have to write them down. It's dangerous, my friend. It's dangerous.
You multitask very well, Wayne.
Listen, I'm smart enough to go, oh, I have to go back and read that. It goes, what was that? Anyway, y'all really should tune in. Hey, Lucky Stone. Lucky, I really enjoy your meditative walks. Have you watched some of his videos?
I have. Yes, I have.
I love his intro, by the way. What's next? You need to coin that.
Lucky. It's awesome.
Where Brian did Be Another Day in the Milky Way.
Yeah, howdy, folks.
Howdy, folks. Exactly.
Welcome to another day in the Milky Way.
So y'all go over there and check out Lucky Stone and check it out. And I love his thoughts. He's what next? And those are the type of thoughts.
Special people in this tribe.
Yeah, David Barry. I mean, David, I think is going to become a maestro at video editing and effects. I think so. Robert's doing a good job at that as well.
He is.
I saw that. Kaz with all hers.
And Lori, Pure Love Ascension, she's jumping right on board and doing great too.
Lori, send us your YouTube channel and we'll post it up here, and love to have you on as well. We could come join us on a Tuesday. We'll be hanging out. Julianne Payne, Julianne, we'll get you back on, hon.
I love hanging out with Julianne. I like hanging out with everybody you brought on. I love Kaz. I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah. One day we're going to get it to where, when we all get to meet, I see that day coming.
That would be
maybe
wonderful.
That could be a project we could do.
I would love that.
I'd love that too. I get sometimes the visions of like we're out in the woods in a very big barn, that is designed for a meeting place.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah, it would be fabulous.
There are places like that, isn't there?
You know where there is a place like that?
Where?
Brian's house.
Wow, yeah, that's true.
Isn't that amazing? I literally just saw his barn. They were talking about taking it down. Remember, in the wood?
Yeah. Well, I hope they not. But well, we're going to get something going. We'll figure something out.
Very interesting. That I literally saw Brian's barn.
Well, Brian will be there no matter what.
No, I was like, Brian's definitely going to be there.
We'll make sure to have Brenda there, Brian's mom.
Absolutely. Oh, yes.
All right, everyone. Thank you. So good to have you all here. We appreciate it. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow, and we'll also see you next Tuesday. So what did Brian say?
Be the frequency you want to receive.
There you go. And BOSTO, baby.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.